Genius here, still recovering from that loss last week. So upset. If you're a Chief fan, get the hell out of here. Go enjoy the Super Bowl. I wouldn't think twice about the rest if I were you either. So I get it. So get out. The rest of us Bengal fans, we were screwed last year in the Super Bowl. We got screwed again this time. And obviously the offensive line has to play better. 7 sacks in the Super Bowl, 5 sacks here. I'm telling you, we got to fix that offensive line. But that's not what this episode's about. I will get back into Bengal business. We have to fix the NFL officiate in the NFL. So the best way to do that, in my opinion, is shine a light on these situations. So I'm doing that right now. So enjoy it as I lay it all out for you. Okay, first up, as we know, that in the fourth quarter, the Bengals had 5 penalties called on them to the Chiefs 1, and they were shaky at best. But let's just go through some of these that were missed or maybe only were one-sided. Okay, let's start with the Bengals. When they had the drive, it was the last drive that they had, the last possession. Now, check this play out here, and let's listen to former VP of officiating explain why this should not have been an intentional grounding, but it was called intentional grounding on Joe Burrow.
Again, there's no set yard line. It's not 5, it's not 10. It's just in the vicinity, in the area, the direction and the vicinity of an eligible player. The other thing, though, about this play that got my attention was Joe Burrow's passing motion affected by the contact by Chris Jones. And that's the key. If the quarterback starts his throwing motion, which the hand coming forward with control starts that motion, and then he's contacted by a defender, which impacts that motion, then you are not to call intentional grounding. And I thought that the contact may have impacted Burrow's ability to get the ball out toward 34.
Okay, next up we have the punt. So we punt the ball. Now look at this clear block in the back as well as a hold. Not called. Okay, so the last play of the game before the kick was, of course, the Mahomes penalty where they flagged them for a late hit. No doubt about it. Good call. But the same play, there's a holding, a clear holding, and it wouldn't even got to that point. And here you go. Here's Gene Stellator explaining this one.
2 players, kind of offensive, defense, kind of locked in and engaged with each other. As Patrick started to scramble to his right, though, it appeared to me that the defender then is trying to disengage from that kind of stock blocking dance that they were happy to be with. And when he attempted to disengage and pursue Patrick, then there was that restriction that occurred for that brief second or two. So technically, yes, at that point, then you have affected that play because you're restricting someone kind of outside the framework of their body. So they'll look at that one and say, yeah, right there, that's holding.
Okay, now let's take the Bengals out of it. Remember a few years back, that Saints-Rams game that was the conference title game? Take a look at this play for a refresh of the old memory there. You telling me the corner didn't jump the gun there a little bit? There was a huge outrage over this play. Look at this. Boom.
Crowd's going crazy as there's no
clearly an interference. Now let's take a gander at the referees from that game. Okay, take a look. Now 2 of these names, Todd Prukop and Tom Hill. Those names will come back up. Everyone on the planet said this was not holding. Look at this. Critical point in the game. Look at that. Beautiful. Let's take a gander of the refs for this game. Okay, Ron Torbert. That's the guy. All right, so then we look at the game against the Bengals and Chiefs, and the referees were Ron Torbert, Todd Prukop, and Tom Hill. Now, my point is that if this is a collection of the best officials from the league, why are these officials in the biggest games who make these monumental mistakes that are universally called horrible mistakes? Why are they in the biggest games? Now, I do not believe the NFL is scripted, okay? But you could reward guys with big games and not even have to say anything. Like, magically, you would know. Like, hey, all I know is, like, if you're smart enough to get the matchup that they want, for example, the Eagles, Andy Reid storyline with the Chiefs, the 2 brothers playing each other, they love that story, right? So the Rams, Bengals last year, the Rams, they just moved back to LA 2016. They're trying to develop a huge fan base there. Winning the Super Bowl helps that, You want to cultivate that, which explains back in 2018, that horrible no call, which that ultimately gave the Rams an overtime victory over the Saints. The Saints could have put it out of reach with that touchdown. All I'm saying is we want players accountable. We put them up there, a horrible play happens, like they dragged poor Joseph Asai out there, made him sit in front of all the media. They're asking the stupidest questions on the planet. Let's do that with the referees. Get them out there, have to defend it in front of everybody, and let's see how that goes. Is anyone investigating relatives' bank accounts? These guys' bank accounts? I don't know. All I know is you can't have critical calls that change the outcome of games. You can't have one team getting 5 penalties, another team getting 1, and one team's getting a holding call and an intentional grounding, and another team isn't. It's insane, and it has to stop. And if they want to keep the NFL the beautiful cash cow that it is, they're going to have to fix this issue. Okay, so I'm not going to quit the Bengal Genius Show. Good news to you. I don't want you guys getting upset out there. But I also got to watch it because I don't want to wind up in a cell next to my boy Cobra Tate. Okay, so I don't want the NFL coming after me. So get it together. Be sure to subscribe to the Bengal Genius Show. Hooday! I'll be back. I got more episodes coming talking about what the Bengals need to do to get back in the Super Bowl, which won't be long. So
man, y'all need to start tuning in to the YouTube channel, the Bengals Genius Show.